What's up, everybody? Welcome to the POVincent podcast here on the River's Edge Online Radio Network. I am your host, Vincent Didiano, giving you my point of view on movies. And with me, of course, is my buddy, my pal, my comedic comrade, the human megahorn, Eric Williams. What's up, man?
Hello, Vincent. You called me the human megaphone.
Did I say
megaphone? No, I said megaphone. You said megahorn earlier this week at an open mic, and people were like, oh my God, we've never heard that before, and that is the most accurate description of anything we've ever heard.
Yeah. Oh, God, that was fun. We were at... For those of you who are listening or watching in for the first time, hey, thank you for tuning into the show. We appreciate it.
Where are we, Vince?
We're located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, more specifically Millvale, which is a small town right next to Pittsburgh.
That's having its days right now.
Yeah, having the Millvale Day is a festival where they block off certain streets, they get attractions, entertainment, the whole thing, which for us doesn't matter because we will be working through the whole damn thing. Maybe not you, because you live.
Also, it goes through like here. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So either we are doing a much longer podcast than I anticipated.
We're going for the record. I hit up Guinness, and they're like, well, if you could do it for like 3 days straight, we'll put you in.
I feel like that's not the record at all. I feel like from like radio, it's like 7 or 8 days or something.
I think I heard about that story years ago where a guy, I'm probably totally wrong, but the guy, he stayed up the whole time. But by the end of it, he was like psychologically fucked because although none of that sleep was happening.
So I don't remember like the exact details, but I feel like that story inspired a Pete and Pete episode.
Oh, well, the one where they... Oh, God,
where Little Pete decides he is going to stay up for 8 days in a row.
Oh, my God, Pete and Pete taking me back, man.
So far, you probably didn't even realize that Steve Buscemi and Janine Garofalo are in that show. Yeah.
Fuck.
Both of them. Not one, both! He's like the neighbor dad, and she's a character. I don't fucking know. She was probably writing, too. I'm not sure. But, yeah, they're both on the original cast. That is from the Nickelodeon fucking golden era. But, yeah, that was a classic episode. Like, he decides he's going to do it and, like, gets to 7 days. But then even Artie, the strongest man in the world.
Oh, God, Artie.
He falls asleep in, like, the Superman pose. And God. Pete's mom, who's been against the whole thing. I mean, it's both Pete's mom. We're talking about Little Pete.
We're talking about Little Pete. Oh, my God. Do you remember the heartbreaking episode where Artie leaves? Do you remember that?
Okay, that's actually, like, way better than where... Because you were like, do you remember the heartbreaking episode where Artie turns out to be on a Megan's watch list? I was like, wait, what? Like, oh, where Artie... I don't remember that one specifically.
Yeah, I'm having trouble remembering the specific plot details because I haven't watched Pete and Pete since the mid to early 90s. But it was like... Yeah, but there's somebody watching or tuning in right now. It's like Pete and Pete. Like it was a show back in the early days of Nickelodeon, back in the good old days. I don't know if
It was a show back in a time when gingers were still an oppressed race.
Yes. Pete and Pete changed everything for that culture.
In all, like, I was making a joke there, but seriously, name me another show where two gingers are the lead characters named in the title of the show. You can't.
There's probably somebody who's listening or watching right now, and they're like, oh, click. They're right down in the comments.
They're like, well, technically, Lamb Chop is actually a ginger lamb, so Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop make for two gingers. And I'm like, you did too many drugs and watched Lamb Chop.
Lamb chops play along. There's now even more people going like, what? We're going way back. We're getting nostalgic as shit.
It's
right
okay.
now.
Like the fucking 19-year-olds that have siblings a decade older than them will get these references because their older siblings will force them to watch the same shit they watched growing up on reruns.
Yeah. Ask your older stepbrother from your father's fourth marriage. They'll explain it. I'll explain everything.
That is a phrase I hope you use every week of your life.
Oh, man.
Wait, so we were talking about this open mic. Where's that open mic?
The open mic is at Grist House here in Millville in Pittsburgh. It's been around for several years. It's become that's like a go-to location here if you come to Millville.
I think they hit their 5-year anniversary.
That sounds
recently.
about right. Yeah, no, they're a great little town. They're a microbrewery. Is that the term I want to use?
Brewery, they are a small brewery that makes delicious beer.
Yeah. One I loved, which they don't have anymore, but I get it. Much like the McRib, it cannot be around. A higher quality McRib was the Swifty. It was a Rick and Morty inspired beer, and it was fucking delicious. I hope they bring it back someday because Rick and Morty season 4 will be coming around sooner or later.
October, I think.
Is it October?
I think so, and I think the Get Swifty was a wit beer, if I remember correct.
Delicious. It was got some fruity and it was good. Mm-hmm. Oh my god!
You get all that citrus and no hops, which Vince hates. Grist House does a lot of IPAs and sours, but the stuff that isn't that, they also do really well. They did a coconut chai tea porter.
Whoa.
I need to bug them about it because they did it with tea from Tupelo Honey, and Danielle, who owns there, was like, no, if you like that, tell them you want it again. And I can't, I'm there, and that was one of the best dark beers I've ever had in my entire life. Sensational, unique. I got it for 2 months straight.
Oh, wow. Damn. Yeah. So, guys, if you were in Pittsburgh, go to Millville, little town Millville, go to Grist House, and check out Millville in general. There's lots of little bars and restaurants. We even have a...
Ironborn Pizza.
Yes.
Frank's Pizza. Nova Cafe.
Yeah.
There
Smalls
was
Cafe.
A coffee shop, but it closed. Smalls Cafe!
Yeah. And, of course, check out Mr. Smalls, which is a big music venue here in town, as well as their smaller stage area, the Fun House, which does everything from music to the occasional comedy show that me and Eric have at times have participated in. No, seriously, Millville is that little part of Pittsburgh that has really grown and is continuing to grow, and Eric and I have been lucky enough to be a part of that by being part of the River's Edge Online Radio Network, which hosts this podcast. We've been doing, Millville's really, it's an awesome little town.
We recommend it. Guar's playing here tomorrow. We're pretty fucking cool. It's tomorrow or Saturday. Like Vince said, if you come to Millville, go to Grist House and be like, hey, you guys really need to bring that fucking coconut chai porter back.
and the Rick and Morty beer.
Yes, and the Rick and Morty beer.
Yeah. And the open mic that we were talking about is the second
Monday of each month,
Monday.
the Millville Mash, technically co-hosted by the Friends of the Millville Library.
Yes. All right. Well, now we've gone on enough about. I think we've properly promoted Millville and Pittsburgh.
Gotta let people know about the days. The days are happening. Without days, there's no sun.
Yeah, but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to movie news. We got to get to the movie news tonight. And what's our first subject? Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Hayley Atwell.
Who is she?
You don't know who Hayley Atwell is?
I don't recognize her from the picture. I'm just like, oh, you're an attractive Hollywood person. You've got that hair that Yasmin Bleeth had in the late 90s. You've got big, full red lips. You've got lines, but not enough of them for Hollywood to disown you yet.
Oh.
Who besides Meryl Streep and who's the Diane Keaton gets roles after the age of 40 in Hollywood?
I don't know. When was the last time we saw Raquel Welch? She's... But I'm honest, Raquel Welch looked great. Yeah, like I don't know what she looks like right now, but she was like, she's the one who she looked great.
You know what? I'll bet you she pops up in like a comedy as like the horny grandma really soon.
Yeah, or as a reference to her caveman movie, 1 Million BC, she'll be like the grandma in the next Flintstones movie. That'd be fucking cool.
Wait, what?
Oh, there's no Flintstones. I'm just sooner or later.
1 Million BC?
Yeah, it was 1 Million BC. Remember in Shawshank Redemption, the one poster of the woman in the loincloth? That's Raquel Welch.
Okay.
In the movie 1 Million BC.
Gotcha. I was like, I was thinking for a minute of like year one, and I was like, wait.
No, not year one. That fucking horrible film. No, don't even. Disrespect Raquel Welch.
Hey, sometimes like former sex symbols still get work, like Betty White. Hey, she was very healthy back in the day.
Hey, she made me want to buy a fucking Snickers.
Is Suzanne Summers still alive?
Yeah, she's still alive.
Wait, so who's this lady and what is she doing? Yeah, I was going to say,
let's get back to Hayley Atwell. I feel like we're disrespecting her. Hayley Atwell is probably most known, especially by Marvel fans, as Agent Carter, the love interest of Captain America.
Okay, no, this will sound like a cheap out, but like whatever picture you have on here, she looks wider than she does in any Marvel show or TV. Like not that like not even like her figure, like her physical, her face there. Yeah. That's like a wild, like, because I'm like, no, like, what are you talking about? The lady that Captain America leaves the Avengers to spend an entire life with has a more narrow nose than that.
It's all about the angles, ladies and gentlemen. But here's what's going on with Hayley Atwell. So everyone knows her from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Agent Carter. She, in fact,
everyone but me.
Yeah, she had her own TV show for a while named Agent Carter. Unfortunately, it only lasted 2 seasons, and unfortunately, as much as I enjoy her in the role, and she was the best part of the show, Agent Carter was a series that kind of went back and forth between, that was a good episode too. Yeah, that was pretty mediocre.
That was a show that seemed like Marvel was trying too hard to come up with content and not making sure that it was fleshed out. Like they had like some vague ideas, but there wasn't a real, this is who this character is. We can figure out what to do with her every week.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a prequel series that I think part of the reason was when it was announced, it was most fans assumed it would be her adventures of the creation leading up to S.H.I.E.L.D., but I don't think in either season S.H.I.E.L.D. was even mentioned. It was her adventures being an agent of the SSR, the Strategic Science Reserve, which is what created the Captain America program. But I think
Time out. What? The SSR created Captain America?
Not the USSR, just the SSR. Let's be clear about that. That's a whole different.
I was like, are they doing some weird mind games, game minds?
Mind hunter. But anyway, so here's what's going on, guys. We're dragging ass here on this subject. We gotta go. So here's what's going on. Hayley Atwell has been cast in the next Mission Impossible movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
According to an article on Variety.com? Sorry. I want to give credit. Yeah, Variety.com. Writer-director Christopher McQuarrie posted the news on his Instagram account, writing, "Should you choose to accept?" and a photo of Atwell. She is going to... Now, there's not much details as to what her role in the movie will be. Will she be an ally of Tom Cruise's character? Will she be the new enemy? Will she be that character in every movie that first looks like the ally, and then after a while, probably 10 minutes after, we're like, this is going to be the motherfucker that betrays him in this movie, isn't it? Because it happens in every fucking movie. Because I get it, spies, but you kind of... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm about to talk some ass right here. I know Mission Impossible film franchise have been doing the past several entries has been doing very well, and I'm
gonna have to call you on some shit. Keep going, but
I've never really gotten into the after the first one.
There's not a single movie where one person betrays the main character. There's not a single Mission Impossible film where that happens.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In the first one, 3 characters do that. And I'm pretty sure it only goes up from there. No, look, go back and watch the first one. It's literally Jean Reno, John Voight, and whoever the woman is.
Yeah, that
was accidental sexism at its prime.
No, she's a French actress who had a bigger career over in France than she did here in America.
And for the record, I wouldn't know who Jean Reno, the talented French actor, is if he weren't the lead in The Professional.
I knew he was going to say that movie because
I love to bring it up.
If he said Godzilla '98, I was going to backhand him.
No, you should just. If I said that, you should just murder me. Right, okay. That's just straight up, just kill. Right. Don't even stop the podcast. Just murder me live, so the fans get to enjoy that.
We're gonna make every news station in the country live murder on Twitch. Man gains 20 more followers. Anyway. Who's he gonna kill next week? Tune in. Anyway, so now here's the thing. So once again, we don't know, hasn't said what her role in the film will be, but it's Hayley Atwell. I think she's one of those actresses that she just has a nice on-screen charisma. So I'm excited to see what she's going to do in the film. Even though, once again, I'm not the biggest fan of the Mission Impossible franchise. I don't hate them. They just don't do anything as much for me as I think a lot of people do. Though, of course, I respect Tom Cruise for doing all his own stunts in those movies. And speaking of, Paramount, according to the article, Paramount has dated the 7th film for July 23rd, 2021, while an 8th installment will be released on August 5th, 2022. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy seeing Tom Cruise almost kill himself multiple times, guess what? It's Christmas.
Okay, so the first one is 1996. I thoroughly enjoyed that film, and
I enjoyed it too. Yeah,
it also shows a big jump for Tom Cruise because at that point, Tom Cruise was a fucking movie star. He was not an action star in the slightest. At that point, he had not even thrown. At that point in his career, Austin Powers had done more fight scenes. Just Judo Chop had Tom Cruise beat right there up until Mission Impossible.
And then in Austin Powers 3, Tom Cruise plays Austin Powers in the Austin Powers movie within the Austin Powers movie. It all came full circle.
And that's actually the best part of Austin Powers 3. Yeah. By a mile. That opening credits with him and Britney Spears, yeah.
No, the best part was Danny DeVito's Mini-Me. Hey, look everybody, I'm Mini-Me! Fuck you! And he shoots the machine gun.
The best part of anything Danny DeVito's involved with is Danny DeVito.
Yeah, he'll probably be the best part of the next Jumanji movie.
Is he in it?
Oh yeah, he's in it. He plays the grandfather of the Jewish kid from the last one.
Okay, I did not watch the last one. I heard mixed reviews.
I surprisingly enjoyed it because it's definitely different from the first one. I mean, the whole video game angle, of course, but the feel and what they're going for in the movie, it did its own thing. And for me personally, it pulled it off because if they tried to just redo what they did with Robin Williams and his installment of the film, it wouldn't work. The sequel, Jumanji: The Next Level, is coming out. We talked about it briefly previously on the show, but I'm a little. I don't know. Most people seem very excited for it because they're doing something very different to try to keep things fresh. Me, I have mixed feelings about it, but that's not what the subject we're getting into.
I'll catch it as soon as I can catch it on a streaming service. I am excited because I like what they did with the Avatar thing, so they allowed to keep it about kids but still cast the box office draw adult actors they wanted to, and fucking The Rock and I think I've said this on the show before, but The Rock and Kevin Hart had great fucking chemistry in Central Intelligence.
Oh yeah, no, and they're like they've totally become friends in real life. It was funny because there's something once again we talked about previously on the show. As I'm sure a lot of people know, Kevin Hart was recently in a very bad car accident. He is currently recovering from the back injury he sustained. But The Rock, being his friend, tweeted on on Twitter. I'm not the exact wording. It'd be like,
paraphrasing.
Paraphrasing. But he said like, yeah, Kevin's going to be great. He just saw his pediatrician. Look that up. The Rock really tweeted that. So you got to be tight with somebody to be able to say that after they almost fucking died.
Also, that's like the mark of like a comedian. Like, you're a comedian when you can almost die, and people can say shit like that, and you're like, thank you.
Yeah. But so Hayley Atwell could be in the next Mission Impossible film. I guess she just loves playing those spirals. But time to move on to our next news subject.
Wait, so we don't know what it's about? We just know that she's going to be in it, and probably in the next two? We're not sure, but probably.
The only thing, and this is a total guess, is that she probably has some relation to Rebecca Ferguson's character, who is the new female lead in the Mission Impossible franchise. And I'm sure they're going to play up Hayley Atwell, considering she is British, that maybe she's part of MI6 and she knows Rebecca Ferguson, or she's connected to her in some way. But yeah, that's just me taking a total guess. No official statement on what her character is.
Guessing!
But let's go from one talented female actress from another country to another talented female actress from another country.
I'm going to stop you for a second because I'm looking at this preview. I'm just super excited for what is coming next. I need to let our audience base know they should be excited. Yes. Don't be dehydrated. Be excited. Yeah. Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Margot Robbie might make a Tank Girl movie.
Now, what are the odds here? Like, I saw the article. I didn't get to see everything. Do we want to let the audience know what Tank Girl is?
Do you want to explain it? Because besides the movie, I only know so much about the tank. I know it's a comic book. I know it's a comic book from the 90s. It got made into a movie starring Lori Petty, who probably more people know her from. Well, a lot of people probably know her from that, but also a lot of people might know her from the movie A League of Their Own.
She's almost to like the 90s what Diane Keaton was to the 70s. We're talking about women that are not traditional sex symbols, but that like got fucking a lot of fucking work in those decades. And like Diane Keaton is the love interest in so many fucking movies in the 70s. We're like, hey, we want someone who has glasses and like won't look more attractive than the male lead. Okay, time out. Are you telling me Diane Keaton's better looking than a young Al Pacino?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that.
Like, no, she's better looking than Woody Allen, but not Al Pacino. I'm just like,
you can't ask me to say, hey, choose between the Italian and the non-Italian. Genetically speaking, I am programmed not to do that.
Lori Petty, she was also in Cadillac Man. Like if you just watch movies from the 90s, like there's like a 50% chance of Lori Petty.
What was that Pauly Shore movie? Let's Join the Army. What was that? She was in that.
She's some week we will look up her filmography and just go, holy shit! Like no, that's just what we'll do for an episode. But so Tank Girl is, I don't know who did the comic, but it's
Alan Martin.
What company though?
God, it wasn't.
So like I don't know if it's DC, Vertigo, Dark Horse.
I would probably put it's 90s. I put my money on Dark Horse.
That would be my. So it is. We're talking post-apocalyptic, not quite cyberpunk.
Crazy punk. We'll say crazy punk because once again, most of my knowledge comes from the movie, and that movie was nuts.
That movie is nuts. It is incredible. Highly recommend. Like it's a weird.
It's very weird.
It's very weird. It's a cult classic, not quite a full classic. Got huge levels of camp. Essentially, she's like this punk rock lady who lives with some like rebels or whatever. They're like, oh, whatever, government society sucks, and water is a commodity you have to pay for in all. It's a restricted payable commodity. And then the government kills all of her friends, and she teams up with genetically modified kangaroo killers.
Yes, there are kangaroo men. I think in the movie, are they called Reapers or
I don't know. All I know is they're like kangaroos that were like, they're half kangaroos, half man, except for one that's half kangaroo, half dog, and that's the one she fucks/dates.
Yes.
But it's not the one voiced by Ice Cube, who voices one of the kangaroos.
That's so fucking weird. How did he get SVU after that? You think that would have cut him off from anything legitimate for like 10 years?
Yeah, what? Are you serious? They watched it. They were like, holy shit. Did you fucking hear Ice-T voice that fucking kangaroo? That man can definitely play a homicide officer.
Okay.
I feel like I said Ice Cube the first time I meant Ice-T. You always need to clarify the ices. They're easy to confuse.
That's right. Exactly. Cubed, teed,
vanilla.
Vanilla.
Which is also the least sensible one. Right. Like, Cube and Tea make sense. No one's ever actually had Vanilla Ice. There's not such a thing.
You know, I want to Google it right now. But anyway, let's get back to the information on the news story. This article coming from Empire.com. Alan Martin, the creator of Tank Girl, tweeted, "Just heard that Margot Robbie's company, Lucky Chap Entertainment," I didn't even know she had her own little company, but considering how well she's done for herself in the past several years, makes sense, has option rights from MGM to make a new Tank Girl movie. Now, several months into development, we haven't been contacted by any of the parties involved with the project, so not sure if there will be any input from the original creators. This is from Alan Martin, one of the creators. So yeah, the article doesn't say, just to make it clear, it's not that Margot Robbie is going to play Tank Girl, even though, I mean, obviously she could pull off the role. I mean, if you could do everything from Harley Quinn to Tonya Harding.
She's the perfect person right now to play Tank Girl.
Yeah.
Like,
the only thing she might pull back on is the fact, because she's Harley Quinn, when she wanted to play a similar crazy comic book character, even though once again, it's her company, so they could cast somebody else. But yes, it would make sense, and that's the only reason why I would think she might not want to play the character, is because she already has a comic book character that she has a new movie coming out. You know, so Birds of Prey with Harley Quinn and Huntress and Black Canary.
But I feel like those characters are different enough in personality and aesthetic that is not. To me, it wouldn't be. Let's put it this way: Tank Girl. It's not like you're a prime. That's not DC main universe, not Marvel main universe. It just happens to be a comic book. And like I would say, between the two characters, the biggest similarities is that 3 similarities. They're both female. They're both badasses, and they both have uniquely colored uniforms, but in completely different ways. That's the 3 similarities between the characters.
No. Once again, I'm not saying they're exactly the same. I'm just saying they're both comic book characters that are known for their zany, eccentric ways.
I think the bigger question right now is how much money can a Tank Girl, like that's literally what, like, she, her agent, the company involved, everyone is doing the calculus to how much money can a Tank Girl money make. Is it worth her starring in it?
Yeah, I mean, she's Margot Robbie. She's one of the A-listers right now in Hollywood, and I'm sure if I looked at her IMDb, even after Birds of Prey, the next DC movie where she's playing Harley Quinn, she's probably got 4 or 5 movies already lined up. So yeah, no, we'll see how that goes. I know there's a lot of Tank Girl fans out there, so I'm sure they'll be excited for a new, more modern take. And considering we live in an age where comic book movies. Yeah, I mean, mostly Marvel, yes, but still, you know, we have some cool stuff on the way where, like, people, they take comic movies in a mostly different light now. So,
you know what I would do with it if I were them, and I'm not saying they will. I wouldn't do a film.
What would you do, a miniseries?
I would do a Netflix show.
A Netflix show.
Now, again, it becomes a formula, again, of how much money can you make versus the time you spend, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I want to say there's more money available if you actually do a film. Theoretically, again, depending on contract, the Netflix money, whatever it is fucking guaranteed, but it also would be a whole 10-episode season for her to chew the scenery and be that character.
Well, we'll see. Netflix has so much competition now, especially with Disney on the way, with Disney Plus. And then you got every other major network either already having one, like CBS All Access or what. There's even Apple TV for.
I've talked about this before. These streaming wars are going to get wild.
Oh, they are. Especially now with Disney throwing its magician's hat in the ring.
And Amazon is going to step it up at some point, because I feel like they've just kind of been chilling, oh yeah, hey, we do stuff. And also remember, we'll never fucking run out of money.
Yeah.
Ever. I feel like they have been just slow rolling shit because they fucking can.
Oh yeah, no, Jeff Bezos has so much money that he pisses dollar coins.
That's not true. He actually pisses elves who piss dollar coins. You don't want to know how much he had to pay for the surgery for that, but he can afford it.
He can. He really can. And he not even the small little Santa elves. We're talking Lord of the Rings full-sized human elves. We went way weird with that. I'll take the blame, because I took what you had, which was funny as is, and I augmented it to an uncomfortable.
How was your piss, man? Oh, it was a full-on Legolas. Let me fucking tell you.
Legolas just popped out my dick and unleashed a flurry of arrows.
That's a sentence that should never be said, and I love that you said it.
Welcome, first-time viewers, to the POVincent podcast, where I could say literally fucking anything, and I do it without drugs.
That might be my favorite thing that's ever been said on the show.
I'm like Spider-Man. My imagination's my gift and my curse at the same time. Anyway, enough of that. The Margot Robbie take.
I'm actually, because the two of us are just slowly dying from laughter and not taking care of ourselves. No. But it's okay, because our audience gets to look at this picture of Margot Robbie, who's an extremely healthy human being,
yes,
and then a picture of an unhealthy looking tank girl that looks strangely like Margot Robbie. It is eerie how much that fucked up. That looks like Tank Girl just played fucking field hockey with the boys, and she looks just like Margot Robbie with the bloody nose.
Yeah. But anyway, let's move on to the final news story of the night. Let's move on to that one. Once again, it's just a lineup of actors and actresses not from this country who are really, really good to do. Ladies and gentlemen, Chiwetel Ejiofor, who's most known probably still for either 12 Years a Slave or for being the Doctor Strange movie, has been cast in the new movie Infinite.
So he was the guy in the Doctor Strange movie that isn't Idris Elba.
Yeah. Idris Elba wasn't.
Exactly. Doesn't change the fact that he's not Idris Elba.
He's not Idris Elba. Yes.
Though actually what I said applies to literally every character in Doctor Strange. I could have said that about Rachel McAdams. Still true.
Yeah, very true. It's hard to technically argue the angle you're playing. But anyway, you please. Anyway, Chiwetel Ejiofor has joined Mark Wahlberg in Paramount's action thriller Infinite, with Antoine Fuqua directing. So this is we got two good actors and we got a good director. Adapting D. Eric, Micron's novel. Holy, that's a hell of a last name. I thought my name. Anyway, adapting D. Eric Micron's novel. Sorry, drank too much beer. It's coming up on me. Anyway.
Too much hams, man.
I know.
Too much hams.
Such quality here on the POVincent podcast. Anyway, novel The Reincarnationist Papers, which is centered on the Cognomina, a secret society of people who possess total recall of their past lives. Wahlberg thinks in the movie, his character, that he has schizophrenia because he sees these images of things not from his life. But it turns out he has a past life, and that's when he encounters the society. Ejiofor will be playing one of the members of the secret society that track down people who are having recall of their past lives in order to absorb the knowledge of their past lives to strengthen them and make them superhuman. So this sounds like a really kind of interesting supernatural / sci-fi kind of concept.
This almost sounds like Wanted with acid.
I never actually saw Wanted. All I know is that bullets bend, and then Mythbusters did an episode about that. Heads up, they don't.
Again, Wanted was in that post-Matrix area where every movie for the next decade tried to imitate the Matrix, often without having a reason as to why they were able to do the same things that people were able to do when they weren't in a real world, but actually just a computer-generated world where things weren't real.
Yeah, the only one that worked out was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, because it was set in the world of the old school kung fu movies where they learned secret martial arts techniques that allow them to achieve such level of technique.
Also, technically, I think Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon actually came out before. I'm not sure about
I'm
this.
going to look it up because I just when it came out.
I want to say it's 97 or 98, but I'm not sure. It could be 99.
I might. Crouching Tiger, Hidden. No. God damn it.
If it came out a year or two later.
2000. 2 years. 2 years.
No, 1 year. 1 year. Matrix is 99. Am I wrong?
You are correct. We both got a point. So, but yeah, I mean.
But like you said, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, like it made sense. And also, I'm not sure, but I think some of the stunt people might have actually been the same stunt people. I'm not sure on that.
It's totally possible. I mean, the Wachowskis obviously made The Matrix, out of their passion for anime, because there's definitely anime elements all throughout all three movies.
Wait, time out. You're saying that the people that literally made the Animatrix really like anime?
True. Keep in mind, though, they didn't do every entry in the Animatrix. All the little shorts were done. So they did some of the shorts, but some of them were done by other people.
The point is, they signed off on the Animatrix being made.
Yes, they totally did.
Literally a show that was like, hey, here's your movie, but anime.
Yeah. Oh, anime. I'll never forget. Was that one Linkin Park music video where they have Gundam plastic models in the background? What?
I don't know this, and I'm so surprised that this isn't ingrained in my head because Sheena fucking loves Gundam.
I was gonna say we should ask.
Yeah, no.
It's, it was Wing Zero from the Endless Waltz movie, the one with the really cool wings. And I can't remember which other ones. Probably some of the other wing ones, because they were probably the most known in America. Which one was it? It was the one, that weird one scene where they got those giant leg things. Are you about to message Sheena right now and ask her?
Yeah. No. Yes.
All right, we'll stop the show so we can find it.
No, keep going. You talk. I'm gonna be, technically illiterate. Keep going. Keep going.
So, I'm pretty excited about this because I'm sure most people first came to know Chiwetel Ejiofor for his role in the movie 12 Years a Slave, which was a massive success. And I worked at a movie theater at the time that movie came out. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Never before in my life have I ever seen so many depressed white people after seeing a movie. And how many times I heard, we just did some horrible stuff in this country. Every day for several weeks. But no, he's a really good actor. The first time I ever saw him was in the movie Serenity, the movie adaptation of the TV series Firefly, which I'm sure a lot of people know I'm talking about there. He played the villain in the movie, the assassin.
Wait, he's the villain in that?
He's the assassin in the movie.
That's the dude.
That's the dude.
Okay. No, he's fucking great in Serenity.
Oh yeah, no, he's a great foil for Nathan Fillion's character in that. Hal? It was Hal, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hal. Yeah.
It's the names. Okay, my girlfriend actually made this clear to me. Did you ever watch Castle?
No, I know of it, but I never watched it.
Castle was The Procedure, starring Nathan Fillion, who plays a mystery novelist who starts tailing a gorgeous female NYPD detective and helps her solve cases, and they eventually get married. And at one point, Sheena was like, well, yeah, fucking Castle doesn't have a personality. He's just a Gary Stu. I was like, no, Castle totally has a personality. She was like, no, Castle doesn't have a personality. Nathan Fillion just does. And I was like,
kind of true.
it's completely true. I was like, a skewered, because that was just so. Literally, the show was like, hey, Nathan Fillion, you're going to play James Patterson, except in a way where he's interesting and people like him. That's all the show is.
All right. Quick question before we move away from this news article and go on to our movie review for this episode. What was the first thing you ever saw Nathan Fillion in?
Oh, wow. First, what was the weird? I don't think it was the first one. What was the weird horror movie with him and Elizabeth Banks?
The only thing that's come to mind is Slither.
That's it.
The first thing I ever saw him in was not Bedazzled. Blast from the Past, the movie with Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone, where Brendan Fraser grows up in a bomb shelter and then he comes out.
Fillion's in that.
He's in that. He's the shitty boyfriend to Alicia Silverstone. But then I remember I saw that movie, but I didn't know he was just nobody at that time, you know. But the first thing But the first movie I said that was the first thing I saw him in. The first thing I concretely remembered him in was the final season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where he plays an evil priest with super strength that worships the main villain of that season, and he fights Buffy on several occasions, and she couldn't beat him until she got the Slayer size.
Did not know that, but that explains the Josh Whedon Nathan Fillion
right?
love.
Yeah. That's why.
I'm sure. I feel like we've discussed him multiple times on the show, but Dr. Horrible sing-along blog.
Yeah, no, Whedon likes his people, including Gina Torres, who was the villain in one of the seasons of Angel. And she was also on Firefly. So, yeah. Wow. I feel like we cheated Chiwetel Ejiofor there for a bit. But no, we got him. He's a great actor. Please, I'm excited for this movie, Infinite. We'll see how it goes.
I actually still haven't seen 12 Years a Slave.
You know, I didn't either, because once again, I was working at the movie theater at the time. And the thing is, when you work 5 days a week at a movie theater, unless you really want to see something, you don't go to work.
Well, it's the same, like when you work at a restaurant, after like a month, you're just like, nothing on the menu is edible. No, I can't eat anything on this. And it doesn't matter pretty much where you work. Like any place, after a month, you're just like, I just hate everything. Can we just burn the place down?
Yeah, but anyway, time to move on to our...
Somewhere I Belong is the name of the Linkin Park video that has the Gundams in it.
Good work. Thank you, Miss Matt Cross.
She texted me, but my phone's on silent.
Tell her I said thank you. She'd probably name H Gundam that appears as the plastic model in that too. She probably could. Oh my God. But anyway, so all right, let's move on to our movie review of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, I had an option between two movies. One was a Downtown Abbey movie. However, I've never seen a
Time out. Wait, what did you just say?
The Downtown Abbey movie.
One more time. Say that for me one more time.
The Downtown Abbey movie.
Downton Abbey.
Downton?
Downton.
Downton?
Downton.
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 Downton Abbey.
Yes, not Downtown Abbey. I was like, what do you? It's a Downtown Abbey. Well, we're gonna watch the Downtown Abbey show.
Okay, this will make the next part of what I was gonna say make sense. Never seen a single episode of the show. So it's either that, a movie based on a TV show that I have no prior knowledge of,
or extremely British and slow.
Yeah, or the movie where Jennifer Lopez plays a stripper. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Hustlers.
Wait, okay, this is gonna sound like a very stereotypical male testosterone question, and it may be, but how old is Jennifer Lopez now?
I want to say, I'll look at it. I want to say late 40s. Let's take a look.
I ask because she's playing a stripper, and in my mind, Jennifer Aniston currently holds Jennifer Aniston.
Sorry.
Currently holds the record for a woman an age playing a stripper where you're like, how the fuck do you look like that?
Okay, I'm doing the math now. Let's see. She was born in 1969, so she's 50?
Okay. No,
my math correct?
Yeah. Okay. That sounds. I want to say Jennifer Aniston was like 47 or 48 when We're the Millers was made, but that was the thing where it was like, how do you look as good for the age you are? Because you literally look better than you did in the film The Leprechaun. Like, no, she looked like and past I'm an aroused, just like you just look super healthy. You're gonna live to be 300. Congratulations.
I know, right? Oh my God, plastic surgery is amazing.
I don't even think it's that much plastic surgery. She just looks like she's really healthy and drinks like the youth of virgins every day. I meant blood, not youth. Whatever.
That's the real secret.
Jennifer Aniston's
a succubus.
Come on, you know that. Why do you think Bloody Mary looks so good? That's why she always pops up in everyone's mirrors. She wants to show off how attractive virgin blood makes you look.
Anyway, let's talk about Hustlers. Transition that shit, man. So this movie is based on a true story. It stars Jennifer Lopez and Constance Wu, who probably most people would know her for Crazy Rich Asians. Constance Wu plays Destiny, a young woman who strips and has to take care of her grandma. Wait. And she... No, I'm finishing the plot synopsis.
Do it.
Shut the fuck up.
Do it.
And she's struggling to make money in the stripper biz, meets Jennifer Lopez, who takes her under her wing. But then the Wall Street collapse happens in 2007, and they have to change how they work as strippers to make money, and by taking it to the people on Wall Street. And that's a basic plot synopsis.
Okay, so what has me the most excited about this fucking movie that I had not heard about before today, is that Lizzo is in this film.
Lizzo?
Lizzo.
Who is Lizzo?
Lizzo, you need to Google some shit real quick, my friend. Lizzo is the up-and-coming musician. Lizzo, in a nutshell, and like someone would probably be like, Eric, you're fucking wrong. Okay. She's basically like modern-day Pink. She's doing like pop, hip-hop, but like in a unique way that's not being done right now. I feel like that's what Pink was for the 90s.
Wasn't she like one of the other nominees against Billie Eilish for Musician of the Year at the MTV Music Awards?
I think so. Like, she's been blowing up. I was not familiar. She and I were driving back, I think, from some holiday with my family, and some song came on. I can only remember that it was a female and was badass and had a sense of humor. Like, it might have been talking shit about some dude, and Sheena was just like, this song is amazing, and I need to look this person up. And then, like, a few weeks later, she was like, blah, 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 Lizzo. And I was like, who the fuck? And she was like, remember that song? I was like, oh, Lizzo! So I'm excited that she's in this because,
I'm glad you're excited she's in it because she's only in it for about 15 minutes. So
that's significant. Like you're like, I mean, in a 2-hour movie?
All right. Enough. Let me talk about the fucking movie. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so this movie now, it's a movie about strippers. So I'm going to get this out of the way. So I know people are going to want to know, do we see some boobs? All right. The movie is rated R. Yes, we see some boobs, but it's never overly flaunted. The boobs are there, and it makes sense, like they're in the dressing room and someone's getting dressed, but it's never just flaunted in your face for no reason.
So it's just breastfeeding boobs.
Basic, kind of, yeah. Though honestly, the movie probably could have used some more boobs. If I'm being a little,
you're like, there should have been less breastfeeding, more. For the record, I'm not saying the boobs are only there when they're breastfeeding. I'm just saying that for the plot, it's like breastfeeding. They're only there when necessary.
All right. Now, here's the thing about this movie. So it's based on a true story. Apparently, some strippers that scammed a lot of Wall Streeters after the Wall Street collapse over 10 years ago. So I'll try to be cool about this as I can because it is based on real people. So like I said, Constance Wu plays our main character, Destiny, whose name is actually Dorothy, but I think her stripper name is Destiny. Though, excuse me. There are moments in the film where people still call her Destiny outside of the strip club, so I got a little confused for a while. I was like, is her name Destiny or is her name Dorothy? On IMDb, she's listed as Destiny, so I don't know if there was somebody screwed up or it's just like the strippers still call each other by their stripper names outside the club.
Well, have you ever known anyone who just rocks a nickname most of the time?
Well, yeah, but like why... I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Literally had a dude this past week where my friend was like, hey, I talked to someone who works at your restaurant, and they said that no one by your name works there. And his response was, oh, yeah, everyone at that restaurant calls me a name that's not my name.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So the movie has a lot to set up because it follows our main character, Destiny, who is like, she's trying to make it big at the big strip club in New York City, but she needs help. Jennifer Lopez is the veteran there. She drives there are guys who just go there just to see her. She knows how to dance. She knows how to do the pole. She knows how to make the big fucking bucks. And they kind of form a bond. Kind of like a sisterly bond. And the movie, like I said, is based on true events. So they go from when Destiny first joins the strip club and meets Jennifer Lopez to her growing and fine-tuning her craft and making actually really good money doing it, to the Wall Street collapse and the what happened to them after that. And now the problem is part of the problem is the movie takes a while before we actually get to the actual plot of the film, where it's them striking back at these Wall Street guys by scamming them and drugging them and all this kind of stuff. Literally, I think the movie gets about 40 to 45 minutes in before we get to this, before we actually get to the actual plot of the movie. And it's just a lot of their backstory, but it just takes a little too long. And that's why I said, and I mean this in a jokingly way, I could have used more boobs because I was like, okay, we get it. Can we get to the thing the trailer promised me was going to happen? It takes too long to get to that.
That's a big thing with the film. If you give away certain things in the trailer, you really shouldn't give away anything significant that happens more than 25 minutes into the film, tops.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and going back to, talk about Margot Robbie in Suicide Squad, one of the complaints people had about Suicide Squad is the movie takes a while before it gets to the plot, where the Suicide Squad goes on the mission. And it's kind of like the same thing here. It's like, we get it. It's like, it's like Wall Street happened. I think it would have been better if the movie started right after Wall Street, around the Wall Street incident, and then we use flashbacks to show their friendship between Jennifer Lopez's Ramona and Destiny. So yeah, that was kind of irritating. It took a while to do it. The movie has a lot of comedy in it. These funny moments with the strippers. Each one of them has their own little thing going on. I gotta say, the first half of the movie, most of the comedy fell flat for me, though I will say the people in the auditorium I was with in the theater, they seemed to be laughing. Though in the second half of the movie, I found the comedy better. I was actually laughing, so I don't know, maybe one of the writers or who was doing the screenplay just worked it better in the second half of the movie, but for a while, I really wasn't laughing at a lot of stuff until the second half. I don't know what it was. So the second half just seems things were just funnier to me. Maybe it's because I was just, Another thing, Lizzo. Like I said, Lizzo isn't really in the movie a lot. And there's a lot of characters in the first half of the movie that are the other strippers at the club, one of them being played by Cardi B. And we meet these characters, but then a lot of these characters don't matter in the second half of the film. Like after the strip club starts to go downwards because of the Wall Street collapse, because a lot of their clientele are from Wall Street. we don't see these characters second half of the movie. Like, there's this one character who her problem is her boyfriend doesn't like that she's working 5-6 days a week, and she has to deal with him. This character is not part of the plot in the second half of the film. Honestly, she could have been totally written out. And there's a few other characters in the movie. It's like, why are we even bothering? I feel like a lot of this stuff should be skipped. Hell, minor spoiler, Usher shows up in the film. It doesn't really matter. He just kind of shows up just so that I guess they could say Usher was in the film. Like, once again, it's based on a real event, so maybe Usher really did show up at this strip club in these real people's lives.
Wait, so he shows up as Usher.
As Usher.
I need to clarify that, because when you say Usher shows up, like, he's the real person, you just be like, hey, I'm Tyrone, like, or Jim, or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
no. It's Usher being Usher. Now, my biggest problem with the film is the story. I've seen this story before. They're going through a rough part of their life, they're barely scraping by, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get those riches, to get that fortune, whatever, and then they start to do something that's not really illegal, but then they amp it up to something it's illegal at this point, but now we're making a ton of money. And you know how it's going to go. They're going to take that one step too far, and it's going to screw them over, or they're going to bring in somebody new and trust them to help them out with the illegal business, whatever they're doing, and that person's going to betray them or fuck up and reveal the whole thing. The story has been there, done that. I've seen this before. Tom Cruise just had a movie like this a couple years ago where he was playing, once again, based on real events. It's always based on real events.
He was the pilot.
Yeah, he was an airplane pilot that was smuggling drugs.
For the CIA?
Yeah, well, first for the drug people, then he starts to work with the CIA, and then the drug people find out about it, and then that gets him in trouble. Anyway, and then there was that other movie, War Dogs, with Jonah Hill and... what's that kid from Whiplash and Fantastic Four? Miles Teller? Yeah, Miles Teller. They were in that movie, War Dogs. Same thing. The only movie in the past 2 years that has that similar part that I've enjoyed was the movie Molly's Game, starring Jessica Chastain and Idris Elba. Also based on real events. But what I liked better about that movie is that for the character, who was, once again, based on a real woman, it wasn't about the fame and riches. It was psychological. It was about her having power over men. That's what it was, because she had a very strained relationship with her father, who was, in anyone's life, your father, whether it be, your biological or adoptive father, whatever, they are your template growing up for what a man should be. And that was the thing that I liked about it. And same thing for, once again, you can apply this even though it's different. The Social Network, Jesse Eisenberg's Mark Zuckerberg. It wasn't about getting rich. It was about being popular. I like it when it's not just. But with this, it's just they want to get rich to take care of. And I get it. The underdog. They're struggling. The American dream is just a twisted version of the American dream. But I've seen this story too many times, and this movie doesn't really do anything new with it. And
it doesn't surprise you.
Yeah, yeah, nothing surprised. And you know who's going to screw up. You know who's going to take that step too far. One of the positives I will say about this, I don't think anybody poorly acted in the film, except for maybe Cardi B. I mean, people were kind of laughing at her. She was, once again, not laughing at her. I don't think bad acting because they just found her character funny. But I don't know. Constance Wu does fine. Jennifer Lopez does fine. And before I give my final verdict on the film, why does Jennifer Lopez still get starring roles in films? I'm not trying to be a dick here, but I cannot remember the last film where she was one of the leads and it did well. Like, there was that movie, it was just a couple years ago, where she plays a teacher that sleeps with the new student, and then the new student turns out to be a psycho that's obsessed with her. I forget what the hell that was called.
Well, yeah, but those movies are always like kind of doomed anyway, so that actually makes more sense, because by casting J-Lo, you're going to guarantee X amount of ticket sales.
True.
To like a crappy plot with a limited, very capped ticket threshold, if we're being honest.
And then there was her next recent movie, Second Act, that just came out this past December with Leah Remini. Once again, on IMDb, the score for it is a 5.8, which isn't great. It's not completely horrible, but it's like, I'm sure most people forgot about it. I just don't get J-Lo just does not have a good, like, track record with her films.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but I want to say, and this will sound weird, I'm going to defend her acting and say that it has more to do with the movie Chase, because of what you just said there, I'm like, oh yeah, but you can say like the same thing about Eddie Murphy and like 1,000 Words or whatever, that one, you know what, when's the last time Murphy did like a film that people were like, oh yeah, that's fucking good?
Oh yeah, no, here's the thing, I'm not saying Jennifer Lopez is a bad actress. I mean, I haven't seen her in anything, like I haven't seen a lot of her movies. I just know like every time I hear a new movie is coming out, it doesn't tend not to do that well.
I guess my critique here is you're like, why is someone still giving her lead roles? And I'm like, no, it makes sense to give her lead roles. Her agent just needs to fucking pick better films.
I will say that Jennifer Lopez either get a different agent and pick your movie roles, or the films that you're in, or if you're picking them, I think you should leave it to somebody else, because I'm looking down her filmography, and at least
it's rough.
Yeah, and with someone like Eddie Murphy, Eddie Murphy has a lot of bad movies on his belt, but Eddie Murphy also still has a ton of good movies on his belt.
Yes, but how far back do we have to go to get to those? But to your point, when you were like, hey, like a good Jennifer Lawrence film, yeah. I was like, Jennifer Lopez, I was like, well, what about that film she was in with George Clooney in the 90s? Out of Sight, I think?
Yeah.
But like that's, I mean, she's been in plenty of films.
Yeah.
Wasn't she in that TV show with Ray Liotta where she plays a cop?
Yeah, I think it's called Shades of Blue, and it ended last year.
Okay.
All right. But anyway, so my final verdict, do I recommend this film? Do I not recommend it? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. No disrespect to Constance Wu, Jennifer Lopez, or the other women in this film. Some notable actresses. But yeah, I'm not going to recommend this film.
You hate strippers.
I hate strippers. They strip me of my humanity. No, it's just...
You hate bad writers.
Yeah. It's just a movie that is like, I've seen this story and it presents nothing new or fresh or interesting. Props to all the women and other actresses in it, but it's just, it's just same old, been here, done that. No reason to give your ticket money for this one. I don't know. Rent John Wick 3. That just came out on DVD. Go see John Wick 3.
That was amazing.
Yeah. Pick it up at your local library like I did this week. But ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the POVincent podcast here on the Rose Edge Online Radio Network. I have been your host, Vincent Giuliano, giving you my point of view on movies. Once again, thank you to my co-host and sound engineer, Eric the Human Megahorn Williams. Once again, it's great talking about movies, having a good time. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you next week. Take it easy.